I've been an avid TikTok user for many years, but when it comes to posting, not so much. As an artist, building a presence on social media is important. I've always been interested in doing this, but interest doesn't equate to growth, action does. So I finally got fed up with myself and decided I was not only going to start posting art TikToks, I was going to post a TikTok every day for a week. For some, this may seem like a very simple challenge. There are a lot of people out there who post multiple TikToks every day. And in fact, I even saw a user who recommended posting 3 TikToks a day or 21 TikToks every week for maximum growth. But for me, even just one a day posed a real challenge. Coming up with new ideas, finding the time throughout the day to edit videos, and having the determination to not give up were my greatest hurdles. This video will be broken into 2 parts: how I went about this challenge and what I learned. Let's start with the how. I initially thought there wouldn't be much to it. I mean, it's not rocket science, all I have to do is post TikToks. That being said, the essence of this challenge is forming a habit. Some habits can be really hard to form. For anyone who disagrees, think about how often you floss your teeth versus how often the dentist tells you to floss. I knew if I wanted to successfully form this habit, I needed a strategy. My idea was to take some inspiration from another daily habit that I'm already consistent with. For me, it's language learning. Not to brag, but I'm currently on a 2,030-day streak of practicing a language every day. With that track record, I knew I was doing something right, so I needed to figure out what makes that habit successful for me. I narrowed it down to a few key concepts. 1, I do not have a designated time of day that I dedicate to the habit. This may seem counterintuitive because most experts would agree that it helps to associate the habit with a set routine or time of day, like brushing your teeth at night or in the morning. However, brushing your teeth is a simple, repetitive task that never changes. Practicing a language or filming a video requires a little more brain power and creative setup. If I held myself to a strict schedule, I would inevitably run into days when I was busy during my allotted time, which would end up being a missed day. And as soon as you miss a few days of a habit, you're far more likely to quit altogether. I let myself practice language learning at any time of the day so long as I practice. This is the same method I use to post TikToks. Number 2, I have low-hanging fruit, aka I have different challenge levels that I can choose between depending on the day. As stated before, these creative habits are a bit more flexible, and some days are different than others. Say I have an all-day event to attend. I wouldn't be left with much time or energy for rigorous language study. On those days, I practice something easy like word memorization. I don't have to expend much time or brain power on translating between past and present tense or verb conjugation. I just match vocabulary words to their proper definitions and still get my practice in. Of course, this isn't helpful as an everyday occurrence because you aren't spending much time on learning new things or flexing your brain muscles. But I prioritize getting practice every day rather than scrutinizing the quality of practice. I applied the same strategy to making TikToks. When I have a busy day, what methods can I use to make the habit easy to practice? I decided that if I didn't have time to complete an entire piece of art during the day, I could pull clips from older pieces that I've done. Or even split one piece of art into multiple TikToks. Maybe one is a speed paint, another is a comparison video. Another feature I utilize quite a bit is the carousel post, which just consists of pictures rather than video clips. If I was out and about, I could easily grab images from my camera roll and post them, and there are a lot of fun drawing challenges that utilize this feature. Finally, I have a rule. You can miss one day, but never 2 in a row. I said a while earlier that habits tend to fall apart after a few sustained days of missing them. I have a streak on my language app, but I also have streak freezes that can preserve my language learning streak if I miss a day. But the freezes aren't infinite. If I happen to miss a day of practice for whatever reason, I need to practice the next day to thaw the streak. I can apply the same concept to TikTok. I don't want to completely beat myself up if I happen to miss a day. I'm not perfect. I just have to brush it off and continue forward no matter what. That's how I've been able to make it this far. I kept these tips at the front of my mind for the entire challenge. Some days were ripe with inspiration and motivation, and others were not. Some videos were posted at noon and others at 11 p.m. Some videos were carefully edited and narrated, and others were slapped together in minutes. But no matter what, day after day, I posted. Finally, I reached the 7-day mark, the end of the challenge. And something interesting happened. I kept posting. Then I reached the 10-day mark, then 12. And now, as of recording this, I have posted every day for 14 days in a row, double the original challenge. Suffice to say, my strategizing paid off. I'm so proud of the progress I've made, and I don't feel any signs of slowing down yet. Maybe at some point I'll trip up, but that's what my third rule is for. With the suspense out of the way, we can move on to the second part of the video, which is what I learned. It was an interesting experiment, to say the least. I intentionally didn't try to predict any metrics or numbers ahead of time. I had no idea how many views or likes to expect per post, not to mention how many followers I might gain, if any. My only goal was to be consistent, because that's the only element within my control. However, now that the TikToks have been posted, I can analyze what got the most traction and potentially apply my learnings to future videos. I see there's nothing wrong with a little strategy as long as the numbers don't consume you too much. I will be measuring the views and comments on each video, but as a disclaimer, I also understand that these are not the only metric to measuring success. I just picked a few numbers I could easily compare between posts. The TikTok that performed the best by far was a drawing meme, drawing what I would wear as Aquaman. Some of you might recognize that from my last YouTube video as well. That post is sitting at over 5,000 views and 37 comments. My second highest is another drawing meme showcasing my improvement over 5 years. I noticed this post format gaining traction and I immediately jumped on it, which I think boosted its success. That one has 1,700 views and 19 comments. I was surprised to see those two at the top, given that they are picture slideshows instead of actual videos. I assumed TikTok would push videos harder than pictures, given the nature of the platform. However, it makes sense to me now why they did well. Both of these posts captured people's attention with a mystery reveal at the end. Seeing the first slide made people want to scroll to the end to see the result, which boosted retention. At least that's my best guess. So for future posts, I might want to incorporate more elements of surprise. Moving on to the lowest performing posts, we have my most recent video, which showcases my digital sketches versus their final results. This one is sitting at 260 views, but I don't think it's entirely fair to consider this post the worst performing because it hasn't been up as long as the other posts. Shelf life on TikTok is definitely short, but I've noticed that some posts still circulate after a few days. In general, I have a few posts sitting at around 300 views, and they tend to be speed paints or non-trending memes or topics. I posted a few tutorial or process videos, and those did much better at around 500 views. That also makes sense to me because people like to learn things. I'll keep in mind educational content for future posts. All in all, I'm very happy with these results. I certainly didn't go viral with any of my content, but I got very consistent and steady engagement instead. The slow and steady route can take longer, but I also feel like it builds more genuine connections as opposed to one post going viral and spiking your account. One other thing that I'm considering is that I never posted a series, meaning a longer piece of content broken up into smaller videos, like day 1 of trying to get commissions or something like that. I know series can become very popular because viewers like to check in to see how the story progresses. I'm guilty of that as well. I love to watch progress over time, so I should brainstorm some ideas of what kind of series I could make that I would actually want to watch. I should also mention how many followers I gained as a result of this experiment. Before posting my first video of the challenge, I was sitting at 20 followers, and after 2 weeks of posting every day, I'm now at 80 followers. That's 60 new people that I gained from my experiment. As a recap of what I learned, viral sounds and meme formats perform well if you jump on them right away. Popular sounds that aren't trending right now aren't guaranteed to perform better, aka try to keep up with current trends. Educational content performs well for me. Tease a surprise reveal for the end of your video so people are tempted to watch the whole thing. And even if you don't go viral, you can still be successful and grow a following. If you post consistently, you can expect a slow but steady trickle of followers that will snowball over time. so keep going. Hopefully, if you're interested in starting a TikTok journey, my experiment can inspire you. Posting every day is challenging, but also rewarding in the end. I think the long game method of growing can work really well for some people, so if you resonate with that, why not give it a try? The best time to start was yesterday, and the second best time to start is today. Thank you for watching this video. It's a different format from my usual content, so I'm interested to see how it goes. But I will catch you next time. See ya!